Hi everybody, my name is Max Maker and this week I'm going to build some new furniture for my new workshop. So I'm starting with this tool caddy. As you see, the one I've built previously is sagging down a little bit on the left corner and it's not that great. So I'm building a new one out of these pieces of wood that I found on the side of the street. It's really hot out here in summer, so that's great because this wood isn't wet when you get it. So first I need to cut them down, and the company Brennenstuhl sent me this cable reel, and this is really great. Thank you for that. It's super useful, especially because it's not spinning while you turn it. So I'm using my Festool saw for this. I got this from my girlfriend for my birthday, so thank you very much for that. This saw is really great. It doesn't cut that deep, but I could finish this cut by hand. So the idea of this build was to utilize the wood as good as possible, so I want a lot of individual compartments for all of my tools, and I started by cutting 3 big pieces into the top, the middle and the bottom shelf, and then I'm cutting lots of these rectangles that you see right there for the compartments in between. And I used all kinds of scraps I had lying around. This is cheap particle board from IKEA furniture. Here in Germany it's really easy to get this stuff on the side of the road in summer, because if it's just raining a little bit, it's ruined straight away. Most of the stuff is disassembled with pocket holes, but for the sides I used biscuits to get perfect alignment. I could have done this with pocket holes, but I did use the biscuit joint in a long time and it's always fun to use it. So I clamped everything up with these clamps, and that's one of the drawbacks if you use biscuits. You need to clamp the stuff down. Where there's pocket holes you can just screw in, you don't even need glue and everything is set. And for glue on this stuff, this is already veneered, so I can't put glue down without scraping the surface, which I didn't want to do. And putting these holes in there is really easy with this crack jig. I love that thing. And I started laying down my tools in there, and then I made really custom compartments for everything. So it's a tight fit and the cables are in there, and I can pull out one tool and all the other tools stay put and they don't slide out with it. So that's quite comfortable. And this was pretty quick work and quite satisfying as well, because every compartment you put in, another tool is gone and stored away. So that was quite fun. And then I added a second shelf on top. Again, I used some biscuits for that and some glue on the sides and lots of clamps. And these clamps, they work so great. No messing around with the screw thread. And it can't just squeeze together, they can also push apart. So sometimes when I lift heavy objects, I use them for it, like a jack. Yeah, everything completed, and I flipped it over to add the back side, and I was lucky that these pieces of wood, they were just perfect in size. And I screwed this down with a lot of screws, because this was going to hold it up on the wall later on, because I wanted to make a French cleat cut straight into this wood, so I don't use any wall space and it hangs flat against the wall. So there's the finished thing. And here's my cheap saw, my cordless saw, which is cutting through here, and it's cutting the bevel for the French cleat straight away. And I used the cheap saw because I was a little bit afraid that I could cut a nail somewhere down the line. And for the ends I just used a jigsaw, and then I pried it loose with a screwdriver, and I can already see the angle of the French cleat. So I haven't anybody seen it built like this yet, but I thought it's quite good. You know, it saves you a little bit of material and a few cuts. So then it was time to paint everything. I used spray cans for this because I didn't want to reach in there, especially with black paint. My arms would be covered in black paint. And I used 3 cans of this. I always buy this really cheap stuff in bulk, like 6 cans for 18 euros. So it's good value. It's not the best stuff, but it's black, so... And as you can see, I put a lot of wood filler down to fill in any voids and gaps, and also the edges of the particle board. And as you can see, the particle board isn't visible anymore, and this is the complete build. So it was really fun building this, it came out great I think. And next up was hanging this on the wall. Yeah, this is a little slot I made for the tracks of my track saws so they don't get damaged, and I've got a place to store them. And it's really handy I think. So I hung it up on my workshop, and I can really encourage you to build something like this yourself, because it's a great item to have. It really organizes your workshop and it's easy as well, so it's a good beginner project I would say. Thanks for watching guys, my name is Max Maker and I make all kinds of stuff. And also check out my other videos.